Hello everyone, I'm Mike Kruger, Weather NorCal. This is another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. We got a few special guests today. We've got Jesse from Turtle Bay, of course.
Hey there.
And we are going to be talking about amphibians. How exciting is that? I mean, it seems to be kind of one of your passions, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
I mean, amphibians tend to get just overlooked in the wild.
Yeah.
They're just small friends hanging out, but they play such an important role in the ecosystem, and they're so interesting.
Yeah.
Their life cycle's unlike any other animal. So they start out as an egg, and they grow into, well, in this case, a tadpole, and then even morph into an adult. And the really interesting characteristic about amphibians is that they're known to live in and out of water.
I mean, right. I mean, so frog, bullfrog, toad, there's all kinds of different,
Yep.
those are types of
Salamanders,
amphibians,
newts, absolutely.
Right? See, I know a few things.
So here today we have our western toad.
Oh, I didn't even know you. I'm like,
Snuck
when are we
up
pulling
on
them out?
ya.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
So this is a native toad that you would find right here in our backyard. And you can see the size. I'm known to have a little bit of smaller hands, but that's a pretty good sized toad right there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty accurate to what you would find here in our native area.
Now, they obviously make some kind of noise, right? You would probably hear them at night? Or
Absolutely, yep. They're known for their croaking and their calling.
Okay.
Yeah, and you might notice that I'm actually wearing gloves here with this friend.
Yeah.
So another big characteristic of amphibians is that they can actually breathe through their skin. And so we want to be careful when handling them because we do have oils and other particles on our hands that could unfortunately harm an amphibian if you were to handle without gloves.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty good indication of a friend that you would find right here in our backyard.
I was hoping he wouldn't jump on me. Now,
No,
so
not
that's
today.
something for people to really think about. So if you see one out in the wild or anywhere,
Yes.
really not a good idea to pick them up.
Never a good idea to pick
Okay.
them up. It can be very damaging to them. And one of the things that's damaging to our native species here as well is actually an invasive species that comes all the way from the East Coast.
Holy
This
cow.
is an American bullfrog.
That's about as American it gets, my friend, right there, yes.
And you can already tell from the size difference that if we are going to be competing for habitat and for food items, that this friend here is actually going to be the winner. So these invasive species have made their way west with human expansion and have been taking over a lot of the native habitat from our western toads here.
So when you say invasive, I mean, that's something that's just, we don't want that, right?
It's just
so how do you
something that's
control
not
something
found
like
in that natural area. Now that's where it gets really tricky. It is very difficult to get a species out of the ecosystem once they've taken over.
Yeah.
And if you can see how large this animal is, he can be the size of a dinner plate. And they just do not stop growing. They will eat anything that they can fit in their mouths, even things like small rodents.
Okay.
Yep.
And a finger?
Yeah, probably a finger. Wouldn't get much further than that, though. So it's really important to try and keep wildlife where it's meant to be found and not be moving it around.
Well, that is awesome. We learned so much about amphibians today. I bet you didn't even think you'd ever think you'd want to learn more about amphibians, but you did today, and thank you so much, Jesse. That was...
And thank you, Jabba.
So that was very pleasant, and that's what's awesome about what we do here today. Thank you, Java. Java's the name?
Yep, Jabba is the name. You can see again at that big mouth.
You obviously had a little too much Java this morning, apparently. All right, well, thank you, Jesse, and we thank you all so much for joining us on another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. Oh my.